Why do we chase greatness even when we know it may be out of our reach? In life, we often hear that everyone has a unique talent, a special knack for something. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? The idea that through exposure and experience, we can discover our inherent skill and thrive. But what if we can't find that one thing? Or worse, what if our deepest passions lie in areas where our natural abilities fall short? This harsh reality is especially popular in sports, where the divide between prodigies and ordinary individuals is stark. No matter how much one practices, there are often limits to how good one can become without innate talent. Imagine this: you're passionate about something, sports, music, art, anything. But no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to reach the level of those who have a natural talent for it. Frustrating, right? That's the story of Oikawa Toru, the ace setter of Aoba Johsai. From the get-go, Oikawa is presented as a show-off, a bit of a jerk, and super competitive. He seems like your typical anime rival, someone you love to hate. But as the story unfolds, we see there's a lot more to him. Oikawa isn't just a skilled player. He's a young man tormented by the realization that no matter how hard he works, there are some peaks he just can't reach. Let's break this down. Oikawa's goal is simple yet grand: to be the best setter and lead his team to victory against powerhouses like Ushijima's Shiratorizawa. He works tirelessly, refining his techniques and understanding the game inside out. But here's the kicker: he's painfully aware that some players like Ushijima and even his junior Kageyama have a natural gift for volleyball that he lacks. This realization breeds a deep sense of inferiority and jealousy in Oikawa. Now this is where things get interesting. Oikawa's struggle is not just about volleyball, it's a reflection of a universal human experience. How often do we find ourselves passionate about something, only to realize we're not naturally good at it? It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's also where true growth happens. In the match against Karasuno, Seijo has the upper hand for most of the game, with Oikawa's setting skills shining through. But then, Karasuno's unpredictable duo, Hinata and Kageyama, pull off a stunning quick attack that leaves Seijo scrambling. Despite Oikawa's best efforts, Seijo loses and the dream of going to nationals slips away. This loss is a bitter pill for Oikawa to swallow. He's worked so hard, but it wasn't enough. The realization starts to sink in. Kageyama, his former junior, has a natural talent that's beginning to outshine him. It's a hard moment for Oikawa, who prides himself on his volleyball skills and his ability to lead his team. In the spring high qualifiers against Shiratorizawa, Ushijima, the star ace of Shiratorizawa, is a powerhouse with raw talent and an unstoppable spike. Oikawa and his team fight valiantly, but Ushijima's sheer power is overwhelming. Despite all of Oikawa's strategies and plays, Seijo loses again. This loss is even more crushing because it feels like no matter what he does, he can't beat those with natural gifts. These defeats leave Oikawa in a dark place. He starts to doubt himself and his abilities. Why should some people be granted this talent when he works so hard and cannot reach their peak? This leads to a severe inferiority complex and a jealousy of those geniuses who have the gift. He's almost at the breaking point, burdened by the weight of his own expectations and the fear of being left behind by players like Kageyama. But here's where Oikawa's story takes a turn. His best friend and teammate Iwaizumi steps in and gives him the tough love he needs. Iwaizumi tells Oikawa that he's trying too hard to do everything on his own, that volleyball is a team sport, and he doesn't have to carry the weight all by himself. This is a wake-up call for Oikawa. He starts to realize that his true strength lies not in trying to be the best individual player, but in being the best team player. He begins to focus on making his teammates shine, using his incredible game sense and setting skills to bring out their full potential. He stops trying to be the lone hero and instead becomes the ideal setter who can adapt to any situation and bring out the best in his team. Oikawa Toru's story shows us a tough truth. Hard work doesn't always win against talent. Sometimes it doesn't even come close. He knew deep down that he'd lose to his rival eventually because there are limits to what sheer effort can achieve. No good sports story skips over this reality, that some people are born with amazing gifts while others aren't. But that doesn't make the efforts of those less gifted any less valuable. We all have to accept that fact and move on. Yet, the pain of realizing you're not naturally extraordinary can be really tough. But here's the thing. Realizing this doesn't mean you should give up on what you love. It doesn't mean you'll always lose to those more talented. It means you need to adjust your goals, accept your limits, and keep pushing forward. Sure, it's harder for those who aren't naturally talented, but that's the struggle of being ordinary. Always remember, true greatness isn't in the natural talent we're born with, but in the relentless effort to outshine our limitations and lift others with us.